I remember the beeping of the monitors, the smell of antiseptic, the soft rustle of nurses' shoes in the corridor, and the silence. My family's silence. Dad hadn't answered my texts. My siblings hadn't even bothered to show. I wasn't shocked. I was expectant. They had perfected absence. Mom's hand was cold in mine. Her last breath came quietly, almost politely, as if she didn't want to disturb the world she was leaving. Then, a nurse placed a folded envelope in my hand. Her handwriting, sharp, deliberate, familiar. "Open it when you're ready." I did. Inside, a list of names, a small brass key, and 3 words underlined. "Make them pay." I laughed softly, not in joy, but in grim acknowledgement. Mom had always been the strategist. She saw the threads no one else did. Now, she was passing them to me. I read the names again. My blood went cold and hot simultaneously. My own father, my so-called siblings, and the woman they all called Mom 2.0, my stepmother. They had waited silently for her gone. They had calculated. They had assumed I would crumble. I remembered the early years differently. Mom had been all light. She taught me to read, to calculate, to fight without raising my voice. We were partners in quiet rebellion, 2 forces bound by intelligence and love. The betrayal from my father and siblings wasn't sudden. It was always there, hidden behind smiles and polite gestures. I noticed the first cracks years ago. Dad's disinterest when I brought achievements home. My siblings' dismissive laughter at my dreams. Their quiet condescension masquerading as jokes. Then came subtler signs. Bank accounts shifted without explanation. Invitations to family gatherings rerouted or canceled at the last moment. And my stepmother? Oh, her manipulation was surgical. She whispered, she convinced, she erased me from my own life. I never reacted immediately. My strategy was patience, observation, precision. I gathered evidence quietly. Emails, financial discrepancies, witness statements, contracts manipulated in my absence. Every slight, every betrayal was cataloged. Every insult, every absent gesture was noted. I was building the blueprint. Mom's death was the spark I had been waiting for. The key she left was more than metal. It was symbolic, a literal and figurative unlocking. The names? My roadmap. Her final words weren't a suggestion. They were a directive. Justice. Calculated. I didn't feel grief in the conventional sense. I felt focus. Step 1. Freeze assets. Redirect funds into trusts beyond their reach. Every account, every portfolio, every joint investment that could be touched, secured. Step 2. Legal channels. I ensured they had no claim, no leverage, no narrative. Step 3. The subtle social dismantling. Contacts, colleagues, allies, they all received the correct picture. I was gone, untouchable, a phantom with teeth. Days turned into weeks. I watched them scramble. My father called, voice tight, attempting calm. My siblings texted, desperate, pleading. My stepmother sent letters filled with faux remorse. I didn't respond. Silence became my weapon. I let them stew in uncertainty. The panic was delicious. Then, the confrontation. I arranged a meeting under the guise of reconciliation. The room smelled faintly of lilies, the same kind Mom loved. They arrived, confident, smug. I sat opposite them, the brass key on the table between us. No theatrics, no screams, just the quiet authority of inevitability. I laid out everything. Bank transfers, legal blocks, social positioning. I detailed each misstep, each underestimation of me. My stepmother's face paled first, then twisted as recognition dawned. My father faltered, searching for a rebuttal that didn't exist. My siblings' eyes darted like trapped animals. You thought you could erase me, I said softly, letting each word land, while standing over Mom's bed, pretending grief. You counted on my tears. You counted on my absence. But Mom taught me differently, and I listened. It was quiet after that. My calm had shattered their arrogance more than any yell or accusation could. They saw the truth in the brass key, in the trust documents, in the letters they had ignored. They were powerless, and I was not. When they left, the room emptied of their tension. I felt a release. Not sadness, not rage. Relief. Clarity. Power. Justice, meticulously carved from years of betrayal, now firmly in my hands. I held the key again, turning it over slowly in my fingers. Mom's final lesson: control is quiet, and vengeance is smarter than anger. I smiled. Not for them, not for the world, for me. Alone, yes, but whole. And finally, free. I had stood by Mom's bed while my family stayed silent. I had followed her instructions, and I had won. Justice doesn't roar. Sometimes it whispers, and the whisper lasts a lifetime.